everybody, it's Mayor Jane here, and I am here with Fred Spencer. And you guys know the part that sports played in my life. I wouldn't be sitting here before you had it not been for athletics and the life skills that I learned out there on the court and on the fields. And so, place in my heart for our Parks and Recreation heroes and all that they do to shape the future of our community. But Fred is one of those heroes, and I tell you, he's not only is he an incredible part of our City of Tampa team, but he's also an author. So let's find out a little bit about him. So tell us a little bit about him.
First of all, thanks for coming and giving me your time. I know how busy you are. But I was born and raised in Alabama. My mom passed when I was 2, never had a dad. I got teased and bullied a lot when I was in elementary school because my grandmother, she just didn't have the resources. And you know, wearing clothes and stuff every other day and stuff like that, got teased and bullied a lot. It wasn't called bullying back then, but you know, that's pretty much what it was. And then I hit a growth spurt and started playing sports, and my whole world just turned around after that.
Oh, good. Yeah, you sure did hit a growth spurt. I was just standing here with Fred a minute ago. I said, man, I couldn't go through you to get to the hoop. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
you were a tall person.
I played a little bit. I went on from there and got a scholarship, first one from my high school to get a D1 scholarship in basketball. University of Alabama, Birmingham. Then I went from there to Chipola, which is in the Panhandle. And I didn't want to go back. I wanted to stay close to my grandmother because she was ill, so I went to Troy University. That's where I finished. Some people probably saw when I shouted the backboard on ESPN at a game at Troy University. That's all over YouTube. And then from there, I went to play pro basketball in Spain. I was over there for a few years, and then I blew my knee out, came back, got 100%, played pro-am in Orlando. Dante Culpepper, Darryl Armstrong, all those my teammates, and then I decided to let it go.
Well, good deal.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. What an experience.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about what athletics, because you said when you got involved that was really a life-changing event for you. So what did basketball do for you? What did it instill in you?
I would say a lot. It wasn't just basketball. It was mostly because I played football, basketball, and I ran track. And I got something from all. Because when track I ran, I'm like, if I lose, I don't have anyone to blame but myself.
Yes.
You know, so as an individual sport, I was pretty good in high and low hurdles and stuff like that. But then basketball came and football, it just taught me the teamwork, discipline, work ethic, and things of that nature. So I took all of that into my day-to-day, that same mentality and everything. That's why I go by my day-to-day now.
Yeah, it is amazing when I talk about athletics and what it did for me, and I use the same words.
Correct.
You know, those life skills that,
Yes.
the discipline, the ability to get along well with others in the team
Correct.
sports, the work ethic, the confidence that
Correct.
it
Yes.
instills in you, responsibility, just so many different positive skills that you can add to your life and really lift you up. So let's talk about the bullying, because that clearly had an impact on you
Yes.
as well and led you to write this book.
Yeah, over the years I tried several things when I got into it. I think the biggest thing that woke me up was about 10 years ago when we had a girl named Hope over in our area committed suicide due to texting. And that kind of woke me up because at that same time I had my daughters around the same age. So it hit right at home. So I like, okay, I have to do something. So over the years I tried several things and I ran into too much red tape. And I was like, okay, it has to be a better way. So last couple of years I went to meet at University of Florida and a couple of other universities and stuff, and just said, hey, I'd like to pilot this program. And because athletics and all that, there was, again, more red tape. So that's when I said, you know what, I'm dyslexic, I have a learning disorder, but I feel like this is my mission. So I said, I'm gonna do a book and I'm gonna create it to show athletes how to use their platform, use their reach. And that's what you see beside my use their reach concept, which is language athletes hear every day. So that's what motivated me 10 years ago with Hope, with her passing, and it's just been a emotional journey since then. Because every time I go one way, I still see it, and I'm like, wow, you know, back home, the youngest one, my godmother called me and said, oh, can you come home and speak to the school? A 9-year-old girl committed suicide.
It's so sad.
Yes, and it's like, wow. And I'm like, okay, I have to do something. And then, you know, working on something to educate parents, because, you know, it's tough. You know, it's almost like hearsay and this and that, but we don't know how those words affect a certain person. And but the mom took her out of the school because she felt like the administrator wasn't doing anything, and put her in a school right down the road, which was a rivalry, and she got bullied worse.
Oh my goodness.
So now this 9-year-old feel like I can't come to mom because she put me in a worse situation. So her answer was to commit suicide. And
that, what a tragic loss.
Correct.
And for the entire community,
Yes.
family, everyone.
Yes, and so it's happening a lot, and it's almost like it's numb to our ears now because it's happening so much. So with this concept, everybody listen to sports every day, all day. You know, everybody take on every little word an athlete say. Mm-hmm. So I kind of, you know, pick like 10 to 15 athletes, and I get all their social media, follow those 15. And when I totaled up, it was over 1 billion followers.
Wow.
So I like, so what if I put something together, anti-bullying through sports, and I can touch from pee-wee football to AAU to high school to college to pro. I can pretty much touch every household. If I got 15 athletes over 1 billion, imagine what we can do for every athlete. And it ain't just current. You know, even yourself who's an athlete, I talk about if you're a past, current, or future athlete, this book is for you. You know, to make a difference, how to use your platform to make a difference in your community.
And you know, when you talk about bullying and what you went through, I think probably to a degree, every young child, clearly some much worse than others, but it was different for us because, you know, it happened in that small group, and then, but now with social media,
yes,
it's, you know, the reach is just incredible.
It is totally, and I got a whole section on the cyberbullying. Because it's like, okay, we have the physical, social, and verbal, but then cyberbullying is a world of its own.
Yeah,
you know,
sure
and it's out there, you know, forever, pretty much. So.
And also, I think one of the ways I raised my sons was that it's not enough just not to be a bully.
Correct.
You have to ensure that you step in when
Yes.
someone is being bullied.
And we talk about that bystander,
Yes.
that bystander and wannabe. I pretty much talk about that in the book too, because one part I have in the book, you can be a bystander today, but you can be the victim tomorrow if you don't say something.
Right.
So that's when I talk about a little bit of that, and it's something that's not. I don't think the book is a cure for all, but I think it's a step in the right direction. You know, if you look at, for example, since I'm here at the book, Tom Brady, just imagine he say one thing, how far of a reach it's going to go.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so those are the things I try to get creative, and it took me about 2 years on this project, but delayed a little bit because I wanted to change. I added introvert, extrovert chapters in it, mainly because if you're an introvert, I didn't want you to have an excuse like, oh, I can't do that because I'm not an extrovert. Well, now I put a personality chapter so you know what your personality is, and then I gave you some X's and O's or do's and don'ts that you can do.
Excellent.
You know, and also, you know, I try to create something what I was talking about earlier. I wanted to create something that wasn't black or white. It wasn't red or blue. It wasn't rich or poor. It can go in any neighborhood and make an impact and a difference. And that's why I see with some programs, they have the best intention, but if it works in South Tampa, it's not going to work in East Tampa. So with DISM here, it can go across the board.
Go anywhere.
Correct.
And unfortunately, bullying is
Yes.
found anywhere, right?
Yes.
And then also another aspect that I always brought up when I talked about bullying is to understand that the bullies probably have issues
Correct.
in their home life or
Yes.
school or something. So let's look at what brought someone to that point and see if they can be assisted in some way as well.
Correct. And most of them they go through that low self-esteem or whatever, and they're calling out and reaching out in the way that they know.
Yes.
You know, I had to speak to a dad one day, and his son was being bullied. He said, "Son, you can't continue to let this happen. You have to do something." So I had to cut him off. I said, "Dad, no, you can't tell him that, because he could go home and get your gun and come back and shoot up everybody because you just told him just do something."
Yeah.
You know, and a bulb went off in the dad. So it's things like that, trying to educate parents how to address certain issues and talk with their kids, and their words matter, because your kids are in this position because of words. So now we have to be careful with what we say and how we address those.
Well, this has just been amazing, and I just want to say thank you not only for what you do for our kids. You know, you've shaped their lives. I would always tell anyone, you know, whether our school resource officers, Parks and Recreation, that you have made an impact on a young person's life when they come back to say, "Hey, coach, you know, I'm going to college, I'm going in the military, I'm getting married," whatever it is, that shows that you've had a positive impact in a young person's life. And I can't think of a better way to serve, right? Is to be able to positively
That's the
impact
biggest reward you can get.
Yes, without a doubt. So we hope everyone reads this incredibly insightful book, Anti-Bullying Through Sports. And as you can see, Fred's picture is on the front, and he definitely went through a growth spurt without a doubt. But this is such a positive book, very easy read, with practical steps that anyone can implement.
Correct. And not only that, I got creative to keep up with the era with the smartphones. So you actually can go in and you can scan the barcode, and you can get the laws in whatever state you're in about bullying. So that's what I have got creative, you know, because some people are like, "Oh yeah, you can read it, whatever, and go do this." But now you can just scan it. And if you're in Texas, you can click Texas and give you all the bullying laws and rules in that state and stuff like that. So I got creative in educating on people what is the difference between a helpline and a hotline. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
You know, so I talk about a lot of that stuff in here as well to educate them and take those to those websites and stuff like that as well.
All right. Let's talk about the difference that coaches make in a kid's life. As I said before, I wouldn't be sitting here as mayor of the city of Tampa had it not been for the positive influence of athletics and, most importantly, coaches in my life. I mean, really right below my family. So tell us what you do here for the city, and then just what it means to you to be a coach.
Well, I've been with the city for 8.5 years. When I left Middle Tennessee State coaching, I came back home and I landed a job as a site supervisor here at Loretta Ingram. I have a great staff here, and we do a lot of recreation programs, sports, arts and crafts, you name it, we do it here. But the main thing is where the kids come here and they can feel safe. This is their safe haven place. And we even expanded. We even have, I know you probably saw our special needs. We do special needs in the morning time, and they come and they love it. All of them wrote me a personal letter today for an event with it. But having that coach can go either way. You can have that coach that really mold you and make a difference in your life, or you can have that one just act out and take you down the wrong road. Luckily, I was blessed to have some coaches that mold me and showed me the importance of my platform and things, how I can make a difference, even at an early age. You know, even volunteering, you know, it just felt so rewarding, regardless of what I was going through in my personal life, but just helping someone else, putting a smile, you know, and I got that from that coach. You know, and it was just more than just on the court or on the field that they gave me to make that impact to the person I am today.
That's outstanding. And I have no bias whatsoever, but the city of Tampa has the best parks and recreation programs and staff in the entire world. So if you want to see all that's available, and I tell you, every time I visit any of our parks, I learn new things about what we're doing, not only for the kids, but for adults as well.
Correct.
So you can go to tampa.gov, Parks and Recreation, and prepare to be amazed, because the services that our Parks and Recreation provide are the best in the world.
Yes.
And you are a shining example of that.
Well, I try.
Thank you very much.